Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of CCTVCraft release tutorials. So today what we're going to be looking at is the final part of what's going on here. So we'll be looking at Oxidization today, the new mechanics between the mod's Oxidization script, and then we'll also be looking at the different types of blocks that you can grab here. And all of these are lockable with the pin lock, so we can lock any of these in their state and basically allow pin locking and lock picking and all the other things that we've covered in the previous two parts. So definitely check out those other two videos if you haven't already. The recipes are really simple. It just requires one circuit board and 5 of the materials. Now there's multiple different types of blocks here. We can do iron, oak, spruce, birch, jungle, acacia, dark oak, mangrove, cherry, bamboo, crimson, warped, and copper. Now copper, the variants of copper for exposed, weathered, and oxidized are only obtainable through oxidization. So you would craft up the copper door and then you would let it oxidize over time to get the other ones. So it depends on the material that you're going for, but the material block would replace the planks here for what it's going to be requiring. So basically, for example, iron would require iron ingots, copper would require copper ingots, and everything else between would require its plank version of that particular material. That'll give you 2 doors in return, which is a pretty fair recipe for the circuit board. And there's also hatches, which are basically like a door but upside down. So you have the 5 materials and then the 1 circuit board, and that gives you 2 hatches. And then the safe is very similar to the chest recipe, but it has a circuit board at the top where you would imagine the actual chest door would be for the thing there. So that gives you 1 secure safe. Let's talk about the rotations next. So when you're placing down a door or hatch or other blocks, it's going to have a rotation type. Not so much the safe when you're working with the hinges, but you do have the hatches in the other part. So when you're working with doors specifically, if you look more to one direction, say right now we're looking towards the west, it's going to place it towards where we're looking. So we're on this side, you can see the block is just like a regular door. And if we look more to the left or right, as we're still looking at this direction, it will flip the hinges around. So we can place the hinges on the side here. So again, if I'm looking more this direction, the hinges will be on this side. We look more onto that direction, the hinges will be on that side. They require a stone tool to basically mine. So if it's going to be an iron door, then it's going to be a pickaxe. If it's a wooden block like bamboo or any of the other variants, it's going to require a axe. So hatches are a little bit different. They are placed away from the player. So if we go ahead and place one right now, you can see that this stair block is going to be where we basically are closest to. And opening it will allow us to go down and through here. I designed it this way to make sure that we were able to have an easy placement for how the blocks were placed, because there isn't really any conventional blocks that are designed this way in Minecraft itself. So I kind of had to develop a own system. So again, like the doors, we can change the hinge direction using the side that we're looking at. So again, if we're looking towards the south, we can put it more onto this side, and then if we drop it, then it will open on that side. And if we look more towards this side here, it will put the hinge on that side. So that allows you to basically go ahead and put stairs below, and then we could have a little hatchway that will allow us to go down to maybe like a basement or something like that. Horses can also go through those, so you can have like an underground horse stable or something like that. Some examples here. These are all lockable, so we can unlock one of these and we can go down into a small area down here. So I have like a map and some safes and stuff like that down here. So nice little addition where you can actually get up and out pretty easily without needing to worry about stairs or anything like that, or having to jump at the very last part. And safes are a little bit different. They don't actually have hinge support, so it's just basically the northeast southwest direction that you're going to be experiencing. There is animations for the door, so when you open it, the door will open and the lock part will kind of spin a little bit. And you can store your valuables in here and pin lock this, and then it will be secure when it's locked, so people can't get into it. And that's basically it. There's just oxidization that I'll be covering next, and I'll just take a quick second. The first thing that it's going to be looking for is if the door is exposed, or the block itself. So it's going to look for the parts around here for the door. Basically where any one of those pieces of sand are that I placed is going to check for if it's exposed. If it's exposed and it's raining, then it will also give a -2 point system to that particular copper block, which will speed it up 2 times 2. And if it's just exposed but not raining, then it's only going to give 1 point. The next thing that it's going to check for is biome tags that are in the common is dry, which will basically subtract a point from the oxidization. So we're actually in a wet climate, so it's always going to be oxidizing. And if it's in a C colon and then is wet, then what it's going to do is it's going to add 1 point to oxidization. If there's no biome in that particular thing, then it's not going to take that into consideration. And then there's only one other thing, and that is if it's damp. So basically, if there is a block next to it that is water, so again, in these cases, if it's anywhere along these parts here, then what it's going to do is if it's a fluid, then it's going to basically count that as damp. And if the water is, or if it's a water source as well, then it's going to count it as damp. So if it's waterlogged. For the hatches, it's going to basically test for the part where there is the stairs. So if any of these blocks, including that one or the one above here, is determined, then it's going to basically oxidize over time. And for the chest, it's same as the door. So basically it's going to check for the blocks like this and the block up here. So those are the locations that it will test for. Other than that, that's pretty much the script for oxidization. It's pretty simple. I also changed the jammer block to use this particular script, so they will oxidize the same method as the rest of the blocks now. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the update videos. In the next update, I'll be looking at something a little bit different, and we'll be looking into farming and some automation for that. But definitely tune in for that. I have some great ideas coming up for the mod, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.